All right, folks, we are rolling. You in the zone with V and Z. It's your boy Val. I got
Z
on the
back
other
in the
side.
building, baby.
Yeah, back in the building for another week. 4 wins in a row, 7 straight playoff appearances in a row.
Look at that.
Um,
Look at that. We went 17 years without one. Now we
how we rolling?
7 straight. I love to see it.
Seven
Love to
straight,
see it.
8 out of the last 9. You know what I mean? If you want to go back to 2017. So it's a blessing. We'll start there because we know there were, as you just mentioned, a lot of years. Well, 17 years where December meant let me just watch, right? Or let me just watch and see what we need to draft in the next 5 months, or let me, and we all just tried to find different things to root for in those last 3 to 4 weeks.
Bro, I got so sick of being in that in the hunt graphic, knowing
Oh,
damn well you ain't had no
oh,
real chance of making the playoffs.
yeah, right. We got to
Like
win
you
four.
know you're gonna end up 7-9. You know you about to draft 13th. Ain't nothing happening, dog.
Yeah, it was
But,
rough.
but
And
look at us now.
yeah, what I mean. That's not to say, I think most would agree we're not, you know, complacent, not comfortable, but it's always good to know that you at least have your ticket to the
Yeah, I
dance.
mean, we ain't get that ultimate goal yet, obviously, but we still in the dance. And you can't get that ultimate goal without being in the dance.
Yeah.
So,
And I will.
kudos to the squad to again clinch another playoff berth. And a lot of people don't give this team much hope long term, but all you got to do is get in and then see what happened from there. So, mission one complete.
Yeah, and like I've been saying, I'm hopeful that obviously they take care of business in the next 2 weeks, but if they are able to get in that right position, which hey, at this point, 5 through 7, the 2 seed, whatever, wherever they land, one thing is going to be clear, and I don't know how many people can debate it, but we're gonna have the best quarterback in the entire dance. And you can throw Stafford in there. I know he's been playing at a high level, but especially on the AFC side, if you look at the Justin Herberts of the world, okay, good job, doing what you had to do this year. Drake May, of course, moving on up. But I'm not scared of anybody, and I like New England because they took care of business on Sunday. I think fundamentally, man, they just understand. Hey, we're gonna play to our strengths, right? We're gonna tackle well. We're gonna get the ball to our weapons, and make sure we go to them on crucial downs or design those plays to get those guys open on in crucial moments. And Drake May is making plays, but really, you know, it's no team out there, and we've said it before, but I mean, it's more true this year that we should really, really fear going into this playoff. So I look forward to how the next 2 weeks going to shake out. We obviously can't look past anybody, but knowing that you have a now 4-time Pro Bowler in there, knowing that you got a 3-time Pro Bowler at your running back, got a 5-time Pro Bowl left tackle, right? You got a top 5 offensive line, top 2 running back, wide receivers. We'll leave that for a different day, but they are doing what they need to do to keep the ball moving. And definitely excited about where our landing spot will be, at the end of this season, and just let's get it going. But anyways, we know the holidays around the corner, so we wanted to sneak in this episode. Hopefully, I can get this out. I won't even say before Christmas, so that'd be put.
Just say get it out, dog. That's
Yeah,
it. We're
yeah,
gonna get it out.
we're gonna get it out, and I hope for those who are off, or even if you're not off, you're traveling, whatever, you get a chance to tap in, listen to us before the game, because this is a big game coming up. And,
Absolutely.
and I know, like, I get it. Both teams done clinched, right? Eagles done clinched their division. Bills done clinched their spot, so they can be no worse than obviously seventh. But if you look at this game 3-4 weeks from now, it could mean something, right? You get a chance to feel another Super Bowl contender from the other side, right? We know the NFC, ultimately we're going to have to play a team from the NFC if we do advance. It's good to kind of, test yourself. We did
Yeah,
it.
I think that's a good way to look at it. I think it's a good measuring stick game.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it may or may not make a difference in the grand scheme of things when it comes to division or even seeding. You never know. But, to kind of see where you stack up against another top, level team, and one that I believe also has underperformed this year. Even winning their division, I feel like Philly hasn't played up to their true potential. So, seeing where you stand up, all right, cool. You bring your best, I bring my best. Let's see how it plays out. And
Yeah,
I think Buffalo needs to get there, needs a tune up. Because
yeah,
right now, the team as a whole not running on all cylinders. So to
right,
go up
right.
against another bona fide talented team, let's see if they can get up for it and see what they can put on tape.
I think you just hit on a good thing. It's a good warm up, for the playoffs because we know that next week, even though it's the last home game, right? It still could be obviously the Bills could still
That
potentially
might as well be the last preseason game, dog.
right, right. You know what I mean? We know the Bills could potentially host another game in the playoffs, but it's going to be their last home regular season game. So outside of that excitement, we know as far as that game goes, you're likely, and I say likely because I know the title is still right there for James Cook, but you're likely sitting guys like James Cook. You're likely sitting guys for sure like Dalton Kincaid. Yeah, he can't,
I
whatever.
can you sit him now, bro.
I know, yeah,
I want to win the games, but I'd much rather have him healthy. So I don't
yeah.
know.
So there's
That's
going to be numerous veterans I can see sitting out week 18. The Jordan Poores of the world, the Joey Bosa's. Now, granted, the Bills do like to look out for people who have incentives. So
Mhm.
if there are a few veterans who have a little bonus here or there, I could see them maybe playing a
But
quarter.
then listen, until the division is 100% out of reach, I still expect them to play.
Oh yeah,
So I
yeah, yeah.
mean, if you're going into week 18 and there's still a chance,
Oh yeah.
I don't
Which there
expect to
will
see.
be. Which there
Yeah,
will be because
yeah,
obviously New England can lose either game.
right. So again, if there's still a chance, I don't expect wholesale sits. But I mean, if it's in the second quarter, you see New England up 21. All right, let's
Tell me your
start
job. Yeah, love
let's
your
start
job.
to rein this down a little bit. So I can definitely see something like that. Second half, you see New England got the game in hand. All right, cool.
Yeah,
Let's shut this thing down, get people out, and
yeah.
gear up for next week. Because at the end of the day, Pittsburgh, if they can get theirs wrapped up, they really don't have nothing to play for that last week because they'll be locked into the four no matter what happens.
Now, do they play Baltimore this week or they play them in the last week?
Last week they have Cleveland this week, if I remember correctly,
Okay.
and Baltimore has the Packers this week. So I mean, if Baltimore lose and Pittsburgh win, I'm pretty sure that wraps up the division.
Yes, yes, I
So
believe so too.
and
We can
Pittsburgh will be sitting people 100% that last week.
yeah, it's like wow. But I ain't worried about Pittsburgh anyway. But anyways, let's not skip over what we just obviously went through. And shout out to the Sabres too. You see, I came Sabres.
Oh, let me find out, Val.
I came Sabres. Just because
I hear that.
I be talking trash about them sometimes. But
Shout out to Yarmo Kekalainen, new
I'm glad,
GM.
I'm glad you
We got
found.
new associate GM, new assistant GMs, 6 game win streak. Let's see
Yeah,
if we can keep this thing rolling.
yeah.
That's all.
Like
That's all the sidebar we need. We good.
yeah. I mean, like I said, one Buffalo. So at the end of the day,
I hear that.
it's always go Buffalo, man.
Shout out to the squad.
Yeah, let's keep rolling. But yeah, man, Buffalo at Cleveland. We won the game by 3 points.
Yeah, ugly ass win. But
Yeah,
a dub is a dub.
dub is a dub. And obviously, I mean, looking at it, fourth quarter, we had numerous chances to go up double digits. Dawson Knox with the drop. I know they said the sun might have been in his eyes or whatever. Okay.
Dawson Knox with the drop. James Cook with a drop.
James
Brandon
Cook
Cooks
drop,
with a
Brandon
drop.
Cooks. It was and Josh Allen with a couple misfires. So it was one of those games where
They left a lot of points on the table.
they did. And I came into the game saying, I was prepared to kind of be annoyed by some portions of the game because we know this Bills team, for whatever reason, they have their moments when they play these opponents where either they can let it completely get away from them or they can find themselves in the thick of it going into the fourth quarter. And it's like, dog, why are we even here right now? Like, what are we doing? But anyways,
Right.
your takeaway from the game, and obviously I'll give my takeaway and we can move forward.
James Cook is a dog. I'll start there. Like his vision, the way he pressed the hole and can just literally cut on a dime and accelerate in 1 or 2 steps. Like he honestly is playing like the best running back in the league right now. I mean, granted, he's leading the league in rushing, but he is legit looking like the alpha dog right now. Like
he looks unstoppable.
And the way he runs, like it's like bro is gliding. Like he's not even like a fast strider. He's just gliding.
When he takes off, But when you take off, you know nobody gonna catch him. It'd be like,
Yeah, it's like it's hard to get an angle on him. So that long, that 40-yard run or whatever for the touchdown, it's like that's a thing of beauty right
nah,
there.
that,
Cut
that
back,
was
make two
that,
people missing the hole, break a tackle, cut back again, put
yeah,
the Jets on.
yeah. That might have been because he's had a couple impressive long runs this year.
Oh,
That
this probably been the most one because some of those you get through that second level and you
boom,
gone.
boom, yeah.
This
But
one was
yeah,
no,
he made
you
like 4
missed, you
miss.
missed, cut back, break through that one.
Yeah.
I
And
say,
at that point, the game was quiet. Like neither team was really up until that point really doing too much. So it was like when he broke that open, it was like, oh, okay, the Bills won the game. All right, that's just like they got to hold on, of course. But that
yeah,
was like,
that was hella impressive. So
yeah,
just he just continues to show up. So shout out to James for that. It's good to see a Greg Rousseau sighting.
man,
He's
what I'm looking for?
always solid in the run game. So like he's consistent in that standpoint. Like I think he's great at what he does. Do we need a dog on the other side? Yeah. But for what he does, he's great at it. But it was nice to see him get some consistent pressure, get some sacks out there. And he was wreaking havoc that second half. And
Yeah,
it
yeah,
wasn't even just the sacks. Like even plays he didn't get sacks, he was out there. I think 7 QB hits. So
yeah.
like he had
Nine
himself a
total
day.
pushes, so he was on it.
Yeah, and also, shout out to Jordan Poyer, old man River,
2-1.
just leading the team in tackles, sack, interception. Like this shouldn't be happening right now. Like I feel like it shouldn't even have come to Jordan Poyer starting, but he is really the person that has stabilized that back end of the defense.
He the glue. He the glue right now back
Yeah,
there.
and it's good to see, man. An ultimate leader, ultimate vet, and that's one person who gives it all on the field. And
Also, I gotta add, if you haven't, guys, check out that article from Tyler Dunn.
yeah, that was a long read, but a very,
Long
very good,
read.
very read.
Took me like 20 plus minutes. I'm like,
Yeah.
damn, it's
I had
not
to
over.
read that chunks. I said, "Dang, it's still
Yeah,
18 more paragraphs." But an
most
excellent,
already no
excellent
problem.
written article,
Yeah, 100%.
just to get some of the ins and out of the things that he's gone through as a professional and just as a man in general, and then still to be here, to still be persevering, and still be playing football. Like it's a great read. You get just a behind the scenes look at some of his struggles and a lot of stuff that he goes through is stuff that regular day-to-day ordinary folk do as well. So just because these are $1 million athletes don't mean they don't struggle with the same stuff that we do.
And
And
I
it's
will add, yeah, and I gotta add to that too, because I think that's important, is that we sometimes equate money to happiness, right?
short.
You,
It's
you,
not.
yeah, you make 20 million, for 3 years, you shouldn't have to be having no depressing thoughts, or you shouldn't be thinking about suicide or quitting football and this and that. Like, nah, these dudes, well, not even these dudes, humans, period. And I
Mhm.
remind you this all the time. You can have 100 mil in the bank, or you can have $100. Life has a way of tackling you no matter what you got, no matter
Yeah.
how much you make. Because I always tell people with life, it can be death, it can be your own health, it can be your job position, it can be a bunch of different things, your family. So it can be your kids, your parent. So many different things can derail you, and that's why I hate when people bring it back to, well, it's still comes down to money. I'm like, money helps, right? Money helps you if you're hungry, right? Money helps you if you only got one pair of jeans, right? But guess what? Life's deeper than a pair of jeans. So it's
Yeah,
good.
money doesn't cure depression. Money doesn't cure anxiety. Money
Right,
doesn't replace a loved one. Money
right,
doesn't fix those, and for a lot of folks, the mental illnesses that they may deal with.
right.
So
Yeah,
it can be so easy to look at these people as just entertainment because they are being paid to be entertainers, but these are humans. These are men just like me and you. There's no difference. So like for him to be able to be that vulnerable and that transparent, like kudos to him for sharing his story because
yeah.
it just helps to remind people like, yo, these are people and they struggle and have hard times and they deal with what they deal with and still expected to show up in this gladiator sport.
Right. And it's another reminder once again that when we look at people, we don't know what they're going through. Because we could have
Sure
looked
don't.
at him over the last 8 years. How many of us
Think he
know?
had everything.
How many of us know he would have been bad at alcoholism the way he was? I mean, I'm talking like we talking
While he was on the field performing the way he was performing.
right. And like you don't realize this stuff. And And we look back real quick to the DeMar Hamlin situation and we say, well, that should have, they should have rallied behind that for the rest of the year, not realizing that a lot of those players at that moment lost any type of motivation for the rest of the year. And us as
I don't
fans,
care about none of this.
yeah, as fans, we like, oh yeah, this is this is going. After we got through that, we were kind of like, all right, playoffs. This gonna be for DeMar. Boom, boom. Meanwhile, these players is like, nah, I don't think y'all understand. Like, we are literally, we don't even know how we operating out here on the field.
I just saw my friend die on the field.
You know what I
Like,
mean? And
y'all worrying about next week game, and I'm like,
yeah,
yo, I
y'all
just
worry
saw my
about the
man
Super
lifeless.
Bowl. Y'all worry about the documentary that's about to come out. But these players are real. They go through real emotions. So again, we wrap that up just to say, shout out to Jordan Poyer, shout out to Brandon Bean too for bringing them back. Because like I said before, for every negative thing you can say about our front office, there's something positive you can say too. Especially when we look at this year. This year it's been all about the wide receivers, which I get. But damn, we have other positions and other guys on this team who have been brought in and has actually helped us. This is not a year, to be honest with you. And I don't know what your take is on it. I don't think this is a year you could say they only is in the playoffs just because of Josh Allen. I think it's actually been a pretty solid team effort. And I think that's reflective if you look at Josh Allen numbers. Now I know it's going to say 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, boom, boom, boom. I know it's going to look good from a stat standpoint, but if you look at the production from James Cook, if you look at what the offensive line collectively have done, if you look at their tight end production, if you look at what they've been able to add with the kick return game with Ray Davis, if you look at the emergence of Ty Johnson over the last 4 to 5 weeks, you flip it on the other side, you say, look at the contributions from Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, from Matt Milano recently, from even Daquan Jones is now making plays, right? Joey Bosa throughout the season, Greg Rousseau just being steady, Shaq Thompson, I can't forget him. So like across the board, outside of that one glaring weakness that we have on the outside, this team has pretty much put together a lot of team victories where you can't just say it's one guy. We just mentioned 2 guys on defense where we didn't have a Greg Rousseau game before this game. There was no Greg dominated this game. He brought that, right? There was no Jordan Poyer game before this game. This was his. We've already had the Christian Benford games. We've had the Joey Bosa games. We've had the Shaq Thompson games. We've had the James Cook games, of course. So I'm looking at this team, clinching with 2 more games to go. And I'm like, this is truly still very much so a team that, hey, was put together decent, just with a weakness like every other team had.
I think quiet as kept. I also think this is one of Sean McDermott's best coaching jobs too. To have what they have defensively with all the injuries and people shuffling in and out, and still a bit of a turnover. I mean, last year was a bit of a defensive reset. This is year 2 of that. To be able to overcome that, to know you have deficiencies in the passing game, but still put up almost 30 points a game. There has to be some testament to the coaching staff and the coaches in general to still have this team at that level. Are they perfect? Absolutely not. Are there still blemishes and blunders? Yes, for sure. But you can't completely ignore the coaching job that they've done this year as well.
Yeah, 100%. So that's why I wanted to definitely. I'm glad we touched on a couple of those things because you gave flowers to the same people I was going to say. Like I said, James Cook, hell of a player, now leading the league right now in rushing. Jordan Poyer, giving him his flowers. Greg Rousseau stepping up to the plate because, like I've told people for a while now, all I've been asking for from the veterans at least is lead by example. Make a play or two. If a play is there to be made, step up and make the play. It should not have to be 17 all the time. 17 should not have to throw the cape on. I know we say it all the time, but I'm happy to say there's probably only been about 3 games this year where he had to put the cape on, and it actually was like all him. These rest of the games, James Cook, right? James Cook been the man, or the defense, Christian Benford been the man, Joey Bosa. So I'm happy where we at. I just think the next step now is to continue that. Hopefully the guys around is like, shit, next game might be my game. All right. Hopefully ain't nobody sneaking up on you.
No, I just saw a flash. I don't know where the hell that came from. I'm up in the office. I don't know.
Hey, we started speaking about Jordan Poyer. Maybe you seen some of his,
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah. But anyway, we can move past Cleveland because this is a big week. But like I said, big week, but Not big week, but big week. But we got Philadelphia. We know that they come in. I think they're gonna get Jalen Carter back and
Mhm.
Lane Johnson. I want to say his name is the offensive lineman.
Oh, was
Um,
Lane Johnson supposed to be back this week too? I
yeah,
checked
they
him.
say he's supposed to be back allegedly.
I
So
would definitely slow play that if I was them. Like, ain't no reason to get him back right this week. Just get him ready for the
yeah,
playoffs.
y'all
But
in the division. So y'all really got
was playing for some seeding, but whatever.
yeah, right. But anyways, we got a somewhat, kind of healthy team coming in with Philadelphia. Their main guys are going to be out there: Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley, of course. On the other side, Jordan Davis and Carter back together. We know what they got at corner. I think Dean should be okay. I know he got banged up last game, their linebacker who just got back. But
Well, they do have Darius Slay.
yeah. But what I will say though is minus the big names, this is gonna be a fun matchup. We just found out that the Bills wearing the red unis, so we might get a little red versus white and green action, which I think was probably the idea around it. It was like
Real
this,
Christmassy.
yeah, it was like this about as close as Christmas as we can get with a little Christmas theme on Fox. So I'm liking the player matchups on this one just because
It's fun.
I
It's fun. I love playing against great teams. Like
yeah,
I can't wait to see what this secondary does against Brown and Smith and Goddard, and then obviously Saquon in the passing game too. Like I'm looking forward to that. Like, okay, Benford, okay, Trey, okay, Max,
yeah.
Bishop, Poyer. Let's see what y'all look like against some thoroughbreds out
And
there.
I'm gonna be honest real quick, and I want your thoughts. Like this might be a game, not to take nothing away from Trey, where I might want to see a little more Max, against Devontae Smith. AJ Brown lined
Why
up.
not?
Yeah, because I think he actually is like the perfect kind of corner for Devontae Smith. Quick twitch.
Mhm.
Devontae get in and out his breaks quick. Not to say Trey White can't keep up with that. I think Trey White has done a great job this year.
But
But
Trey White can't keep up with Devonta Smith.
I'm right. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
So I like, maybe the usage. I'm not saying they gotta go full blown, but maybe we go 60-40 max. Just because the matchup is telling me, first off, I need Benford following AJ. Let's start there. All right. Wherever AJ is at, get my man Benford lined up on him.
Yeah, I really just I want Harrison to be able to get his feet wet against the best.
Well, I mean, completely.
This is
Yeah,
going to be the best set of receivers that they see for the rest of the year,
yeah.
regardless of who they play.
Right. And I think that
Unless,
was a good test
yeah,
when he played Jalen Waddle. That was a good test for him early.
yeah,
Um,
but I mean, Hill wasn't in that second matchup,
right. So
so
he
I'm just
only
talking
had
like from a pure like tandem standpoint. I mean, unless you somehow get to the Super Bowl and the Rams get to the Super Bowl or something, and you got a Puka and Devontae or maybe,
them
but
boys,
like
them boys
for a
done.
guaranteed game, it's going to be the best set of receivers. So I want to see how they hold up because again, the passing game has not been tested a ton this year, and hell, it may not this week. They may just want to run Saquon into infinity.
That's what
Which,
I'm saying. Like,
if I'm Philly, I probably would too.
man, like last I checked the weather too. Let me see. That
Yeah,
just
because I would love to see Philly drop back and pass, and I just want to see how the Bills hold up. I want to see what
45,
kind of teeth they have in that defense. What you say?
45 degrees, but 70% chance of rain.
Rain,
So
trash,
precipitation is amongst us, guys.
terrible weather.
Yeah, I'm making sure. Okay, I got my boots.
See, that's why I ain't going.
I know. Yeah, you ain't gotta tell me. I know.
Use every excuse I can come up with, man.
I
Listen,
know you. You
I,
ain't got
I was talking to somebody yesterday. I'm like, yo, I got these season tickets. I've been to one game. I've been to the season opener, and then
right.
I'm gonna go to the last game of the season. I said, you know what? I'm terrible.
Yeah, nah,
I'm
it is
terrible.
what it is, bro. You gotta be smart. But nah, I will say, I mean, it's going to be one of those games where I think you win in the trenches in this game.
Yeah.
I know we like the outside matches because that's must see TV on the outside. I mean, you
Yeah,
got
that's
one.
a sexy matchups.
Yeah,
But the way when both of these teams are at their best this year, is running the ball.
right.
This is it's going to be a big boy battle.
Yeah, this is the only.
Won and lost in the trenches. It's going to be a physical matchup.
Yeah,
And I think it's going to be a game. You look up, it's going to be 3:30. The game already over because I think both teams really want to try to run the ball
yeah,
aggressively.
right. And you'll see some AJ Brown get some action, and
Oh yeah, I mean it's going to happen.
they'll take a couple shots out there. But I think that's when you take advantage, though. It's like I think the word of the week for the defense got to be discipline, because
100% tackling.
Yeah, well, tackling too, but like if you're disciplined against Jalen Hurts, you can get him to throw the ball away, or you can get him to maybe throw one at you. And I know people can say that about Josh Allen, right? If you stay disciplined, you can get him to throw you the ball. But I really think it's true with Jalen Hurts because Jalen Hurts is a guy who doesn't want to throw the ball 30 times, right? He doesn't want to throw the ball 40 times. He doesn't want to have to force it into coverage. That's not really his game. Jalen Hurts is your he is honestly one of the best quarterbacks at playing around exactly what he has, which is a good run game.
Oh,
Good,
he's a much better version of Tua with a better arm. But like that same style, you want to hit your 3 steps and get the ball out.
I thought you was about to call him premium Tyrod Taylor because I think of that too.
They better than Tyrod. But
I'm saying premium though. Like
there,
Tyrod is the regular version, right? You get him
yeah.
out of the cereal box.
But it's kind of those quarterbacks are all in the same vein. Like those
Right,
are,
yeah, yeah.
and I don't want to sound disrespectful when I say
No,
system quarterbacks, but they're gonna run the play. They're gonna
yeah,
run the scheme.
exactly.
Your eye should be here. This is your first read. This is your second read. This is your third read. Third step, ball's gone. Like they're that type of quarterback, but he's good at what he does.
Right. It's like what we call game managers, but like he is the probably, if you look around the league, probably one of the top two at being a game manager, right?
Mhm.
Like he's going to legit do what the coaches need to be done. And I think the thing that gives him an edge over some of those other guys is that he's a gamer though. Like, you
Yeah,
know what I mean? There's some dudes who shit fall apart, then guess what? I'm gonna just take the knee.
yeah,
Now,
he can make the play.
yeah, he'll
That's
make
it.
the play.
He's not going to do it 15, 20 times a game, but when
Right.
a play needs to be made, he will 100% make the throw or make the run.
Because we remember when we went down there to Philly 2 years ago, that game went to overtime. Obviously, we could have won that game. There was a miscommunication with Josh and Gabe Davis at the end of that game that I know they wish they had back. But once Philly got the ball, he drove that ball down there and scored on a game-winning touchdown to end the game.
Mhm.
So he has that in him. That's why I'll go back to my phrase or my word of the day, which is discipline. Because if you are disciplined in your rushes, right, Joey Bosa, I'm talking to you. Greg Rousseau, he's pretty much a pretty disciplined defensive end, but I think this is a game where you can't go rushing crazy. You can't go all out to stop the run. You just got to play your gap, be sound, like you mentioned before. You got to tackle, and if they do those fundamental things, I think when it's all said and done, we get down to the fourth quarter, the Bills going to be a player or two away from closing out the game. And I like our matchup versus their defense because outside of their two defensive tackles, I'm not too scared of their big name players because they have proven this year there are times when they can't stop a nosebleed, right? They laid an egg against Dallas. Now I know Dallas, is a pretty explosive offense, but I've seen this team give up lots of points, so I'm not too concerned with them stopping James Cook or stopping anything Josh Allen wants to do. But I do believe defensively, we got to be sound. We got to be disciplined. We cannot get out of control and let Jalen Hurts run for 60 yards or let him have 3 rushing touchdowns because we know he's capable of doing that too. Like they're
Right.
not a stats team. They're as much as they hate each other sometimes inside that locker room. If Saquon eats, then he'll just eat that game. If
Yep.
AJ Brown is the guy, then AJ Brown is the guy. If it's Dallas Goddard, then it's Goddard. But they got different guys who can go off. That's why I feel like they got to really play sound, deep, run game, passing game, just be on high alert. Speaking of that matchup of the game, what's your favorite matchup, man?
And I think it has to be stopping Saquon. It because again, this is a player that one thing the Bills has done this season, even the last couple years, they've given up the big runs. They haven't been terrible at. I mean, there's a lot of runs at 3 yards, 4 yards. They're pretty good at those runs. But they give up those chunk ones, those 40 yarders, 50 yarders, 30 yarders. And who has more rushing 50-yard touchdowns than anybody else in the league? It's that boy Saquon. So like you can't give up those massive runs because he will take it to the house. So like this has to be a game where you come in saying we are not going to let Saquon beat us.
Yeah.
If they drop back, play after play, drive after drive, and beating us through the air, so be it. But we can't let Saquon run wild on this team
Yeah,
because they will run you into submission, and it's a wrap.
I would like to see them go half and half. I mean, as long as Shaq Thompson can play. But I would like to see them go, and even if Dorian got to step up to that role, but I would like to see them go half, three linebackers and then half nickel, because I really feel like this is a game where you don't really need a dime package. You don't really need too many DBs back there. Because if you lock up and you just trust your corners, you should be able to do it with three linebackers. So I hope Bills are able to put enough bodies at the line of scrimmage to at least kind of dare them. Like, I'm not saying that they're not capable of obviously going over
Mhm.
the top on us, but like, I want Philly to look down and be like, oh, okay, they really committed to stopping our run game. And the good thing is that the Bills linebackers are, I believe at least, rangy enough to be able to have to defend, anything from 5 to 20 yards. Matt Milano still playing with some juice right now. I think Terrell Bernard got some fresh feet. I know the elbow probably still not 100%, but he got fresh legs, so I expect him to still be good in coverage. So even if it, turns out, oh, it's play action, I do still trust our linebackers to be able to cover their tight ends and their running backs. We know Saquon is a mismatch with anybody, but as you mentioned earlier, if you tackle, if you wrap up, and if you all run to the ball, they should be able to also eliminate that too. So, I do like that call out with the Saquon versus essentially the front seven. Um,
Everybody, front 11.
yeah, um,
Everybody need to have an idea where he's at all times.
100%. And I'm gonna go on the other side. I'm gonna say I'm looking forward to most of the James Cook versus Philadelphia's front.
Yeah,
And when I say
I
that,
agree with that.
I really mean our O line versus the AD line, right? Like, we know our O line, as mentioned before, top five in the league. They protect Josh, pretty well overall. But run blocking, they got to be one of the best run blocking, if not the best run blocking front in the league. They just create so many holes for James, where essentially most times he's saying eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And they have that relationship, where they say, hey, if he tight end go this way or the tackle pull this way, Cook already know where the cutback lane at. And they've been playing off each other so well throughout the season. So I want to see what it's going to look like, playing against a Jordan Davis, playing against a Jalen Carter, allegedly. Graham going,
Legendary.
and they got other dudes on that front. I don't got to go through the list, but I just want to see what it look like, because we know Eagles, they won the Super Bowl last year because of their front. Mind you, they lost some of those guys through free agency, but this is a team that pride themselves on being very good up front, really on both sides of the football. So I want to see what our O line can do, led by Deion Dawkins, led by Connor McGovern in the game. What are you going to be able to do to create lanes for James Cook? Because this is going to have to be another Cook special. This going to have to be
Yeah,
100 plus on the ground, two tutties, you know what I mean? It's gonna have to be, because Josh, we already know the man day to day right now with a bum ankle anyway. So, like, as much pressure as I can take off Josh, especially knowing that the playoffs is a few weeks away, I'm taking it off him. Now when Josh need to make a throw or two, I'm sure he'll feel fine doing that, but we not playing around with Josh right now in his body. We need that man 100%. So the more James Cook, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis can provide, the better we're gonna be. So that's gonna be my favorite matchup. Outside of the sexy ones, like I said, on the outside, AJ Brown versus Christian. Like, I think from a skill position standpoint, I mean, come on, who don't want a little bit of CB47 versus AJ Brown? You know what I
yeah,
mean? Because we know, if anything, CB is physical too.
yeah. I'm looking forward to that. Like 100%. Like that's the matchup that I want to see the most is just the Bills DBs versus those receivers. Like I'm looking forward to it. I love going against top tier competition, like I said, and they have, in my opinion, probably a top three tandem in the league.
Yeah,
And I want to see how the back end of my defense holds up because they haven't been tested too much. But going into the playoffs, if we run up against New England again with a decent passing attack, if we somehow end up against a Chargers and you know the Jacksonville right now who's balling,
yeah,
they
Jack.
probably have the most dangerous looking offense right now in the AFC. Right as
Jacksonville.
kept. So what does it look like going against those type of receivers? So like I'm really looking forward to how Buffalo secondary handles this Philly offense.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So we reached that point, right around the 35-minute mark. We always like to go into our predictions, so I want to get your honest opinion. Obviously we know we need this game, so I ain't even gonna flirt with the idea of you know going too crazy on the other side. But what's your feeling on the score prediction, man?
Yeah, I think this is a game won and lost in the trenches. And right now, I'll say one running game is more healthy than the other. And I think they lean into James Cook and the running back room heavy this one. So I do think the Bills will win. I don't think it'll be a crazy high scoring game. I expect to see a lot of running. So I think it's going to burn the clock down quick. So I'm thinking something in the low 20s. So I'm thinking like a 24-21 type game, pretty
Okay.
close the
Yeah.
entire game. And I think the Bills will pull it out just with a 24-21 win.
Yeah, that's not too far from where I was at. I'm at 21-28 Bills. Because I do think it's not going to, like, for Fox and for the nation. Yes, it'd be great to see a game that ends 45-41. You know what I mean? Something ridiculous. But I think with both of these teams, they know their strength. Or at least if Philly is smart, they'll play to their strengths. But the Bills right now, it's late December. Yeah, you 1 week away from the last game in your stadium in the regular season. So I think the Bills won't try to play with their food too much this week. I think you will see Gabe Davis this week or Keon Coleman. I think you'll see the bigger bodied receivers possibly, because this is not the game where you worry too much about um trying to kill them over the top. I mean, hey, if you get shots, you get shots, right? You want to take those shots when they have them. This is a game where I'm just trying to punch you in the mouth. I'm just
Yeah,
trying.
I'm happy you brought up the receivers though, because I am curious. Like moving towards the playoffs, they have to figure out what their receiving room is going to look like.
Yeah,
So, like,
100%.
if there's more shuffling this week, I wouldn't be surprised if Keon or Gabe is back up, and then one of the other receivers is down. Like
Yeah,
somebody in that room needs to step up, and right
yeah,
now no one hasn't. So who's going to step up? So like I wouldn't be surprised if you see like a Shavers down or something this week, just to
yeah,
try to figure out, all right, who's going to take this opportunity and do something with it.
yeah. And there's not going to be no shade towards the other guys. I think it's always been about matchups for them this year. And that's what happens. We don't have a true like number one outside guy, but like they have been a matchup based offense, especially at receiver. Everybody else, obviously, we know the same three running backs going to be out there, same three tight ends. But when it comes to the wide receivers, I've noticed you can tell a lot about, outside of Keon being disciplined that period of time, but you can tell a lot about what they want to do by who they make active that day. Right when I saw five receivers on Sunday, I was like, oh, so this is gonna be the game where we run 30 plus times, or this is gonna be the game where if it is a pass, we're gonna be trying to beat them, man on man, try to beat them one on one, get our separation guys in there. Because if you look at Josh Palmer, Khalil Shakir, and Brandon Cooks, they're more so known for being able to move around in space, create separation, versus Gabe Davis and Keon Coleman. So I think that might have been a part of the idea, not to mention McCole Hardman getting his first game back in to catch a couple punts, not to mention Tyrell Savers being one of their most utilized wide receivers. But guess what, Bills fans? Don't take no smoke if you see him inactive, like you said, because it ain't to say Savers can't do what he can do, but maybe you can get a little bit more from Davis. Maybe you can get a little bit more from Keon from a receiving standpoint, in some of these clutch situations. Because let me tell you something, 4th and goal, 3rd and goal, we should not have to rely on Dawson Knox catching the ball and worrying about if he's going to catch it or not. I can't deal with that. I can't live with that, especially in the playoffs. I have nightmares, man, but I get it, sun in my eyes.
He do catch the ball in the playoffs though.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, and this a week off of Dawson having one of the best games of his career in the last 2 years. So, like, this is not to slander him, but I would like for my wide receivers to be utilized too in those big moments. Whether it is just Khalil Shakir, right? We know he's reliable. But I would love to see Josh Palmer make clutch catches. I would like to see Keon Coleman be active and make clutch catches like he did.
Brandon Cooks has been open. He's just not
Yeah,
catching the ball. And some of the drops he's had, like if he caught those, the
bro, those
offense
big
looks
games.
completely different.
Yeah, because these is not 10-yard passes. These are down the field throws. What we
The big chunks.
right, and we like, oh well, the offense, because we heard this all first 4 weeks of the season. Well, we're not getting no downfield throws. Well, now we are, and now the guys aren't catching them. So again, I could fall back on them. Well, this is why you do. Okay, cool. I can't play the rewind game like some people
Yeah.
do.
All
All
you
I
can
can
do is do what you got right now.
100%. Like, what's in front of us? All right, cool. Who's on the roster right now? Okay, this is what we got. Now let's make sure we put the right guys out there and put them in position so that when these situations arrive down the line, we ready. because now we guarantee to be playing for the next 3 weeks. So now it's like week to week. What can we do to put our best guys out there and make sure that Josh don't have to put his head down every time he throwing the ball because he's trying to hope and pray, somebody on the other end gonna catch the ball. So, but yeah, prediction wise, I got it in the 20s. Unfortunately, Bills fans, knuckle up, right? It's just buckle up, I should say. This is going to be one of those. I expect Philly to be in attendance, so I expect their fans to be out. I mean, it's a December football game, and these motherfuckers, they'll drive 4 or 5 hours, whatever it is. So I expect Philly to be in attendance. I expect Saquon, then running backs watch other running backs. So I bet you Saquon gonna try to put on his best, on Sunday. And I mean he might throw a little juice on the spin move, just to let James Cook know on the other side, like, yeah, I see you over there, but I'm still 2-6, right? So you might see a little, running back for running back running. One break 60, the other break, hopefully we don't allow too much, but you might see a little running back talent show going on. You know what I mean, but hopefully not too much, right? Hey, not too much, buddy, because we want to be able to enjoy that game. But it's definitely going to come down to the fourth quarter. Who can step up, right? Which offense is going to be able to knock out the other offense because quiet as kept, we know they can run the ball, but these guys can also, if they need to, pass the rock. Josh Allen has shown in multiple games this year when he needs to go through the year, he can find guys. All right, he can find guys. So this is it's not a passing offense that's just completely just a dud. They've been able to find creative and different ways to move the chain. So I expect the Bills still win by a touchdown. But I do not in no way, shape, or form think this is going to be a stress-free game. So
Absolutely not.
yeah, so enjoy it. If you out there like me, bundle up. We know the drill. Wear your good boots, not your cute boots, right? Not your boots with a little heel on them, or your boots that might make you slide, a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right. Wear your good boots with a little bit of grip, and be ready for an eventful day. And I think the game is 4:25, so
Yep.
that's going to be one of those night atmospheres.
It's
Um,
gonna be dark just about at game time. So
yeah, but that's going to be lovely to see, though. I know on TV, I'll have it recorded. That's going to look nice on TV.
oh yes. That rain gonna be trash though.
Man, it
Yeah,
better. Well, I'm hoping that I'm seeing it on the weather app now. I'm hoping it ain't the rain, like the real rain. Hopefully, it's just like the you know fake mix early. Hey, you making that
come
face? I'm
on,
just
man.
saying.
You already know what time it's about to be.
Nah, we know how, but we know. Well, Orchard Park a little different.
This is the worst weather. I always say 40 and rain is the worst weather to be at a sporting event.
Well, all I can say. All right, with hoping for the best, but yeah, we'll see.
Poncho season.
Nah, chill.
Big poncho.
I ain't ready for that. Around the league, man, you got anything on any of the games? I know there's not. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. There's not like one. Like this past week, we had like 4 or 5.
Oh, I think the Houston Chargers game that
Okay, yeah.
that
I'm about to say
plays
they
a
gotta
big
be
big
one.
role on how this seeding plays out. At least, I mean, granted, all those teams are all locked in now, but seeding is definitely gonna make a big difference. That Houston Chargers game, and it's gonna be good to see how two playoff teams stack up against each other.
Yeah, I got to
Like,
feel.
granted, I mean, both of those teams will probably end up being wild cards, so it'll be tough for them to see each other in the playoffs, but just still see how they stack up against one another. It's gonna be fun to see. So,
Man, I'll be glad if some way Houston match up with New England that first round. That's all I can say.
that'd be fun. That'd be real fun.
I mean, because either way, it seems like we not escape. Like if we want to obviously continue to advance, one way or the other, we not really escaping uh New England or Houston. I think they said our most likely opponent right now seems to be either Jacksonville or Pittsburgh, but um I feel like the way New England playing football, the way Houston playing, thinking down the line. Obviously, we got to get through it one week at a time, but one of those teams going to end up having to duke it out with us. And,
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't care who we play.
all right, facts.
Like, I don't care in the slightest. Like, online, it's a weird, in my opinion, weird how many people saying like this is Buffalo has to win it. This is the easiest path. I'm like, ain't nothing about this path easy.
Nah.
Like, granted, they don't have the big name quarterbacks, but this is the best defensively. This is the best playoff bracket the AFC has seen in years.
Yeah, I mean,
Like,
look at how. I mean, Bills got 11 wins, and they still don't know if they might finish seventh. Like that's
yeah, so like people saying it's easy, like just because the top name quarterbacks aren't in the playoffs because their teams weren't good enough to get here. So that should tell you how solid the rest of the playoff teams are. So people saying it's easy. I'm like, ain't nothing easy about this road. That's why I honestly I don't care. We're gonna have to go up against good defenses at some point. So fuck it.
that's
Like I
why.
don't care. Like this Bills team has proven they can beat anybody. They also proven they can lose to anybody. So let
Uh,
the chips fall where they may. I don't care. So if I got to go to Jacksonville and play, all right, cool. If I got to go to Pittsburgh, all right, I don't care. Because again, at the end of the day, I still know who I have at quarterback. So I'm still walking in with confidence, knowing like, all right, cool. Yeah, I got a good team, but I know at the end of the day, I got this dog on my team.
yeah,
So it might get close, but if I know I need a clutch play, I know I can lean on.
right.
So I honestly I don't care where we play. I would want the 5 because I honestly don't think the 2 is still realistic. We know it can still happen, but I want the 5 just for the potential of having a second or a home game in the playoffs. That does make a difference, but I don't care at the end of the day. I play who whatever. If we got to go on the road 3 games, and so be it. If they good enough, they'll win. If not, they won't.
Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's pretty simple to me. Like I don't care. It's none of this is an easy road though. So
Nah,
that narrative I'm not driving with. It's gonna be a tough road regardless.
but I will drill home this one point, and we'll move forward, and we'll do our little closing. Um, the Bills do still right now, bar for bar, have two of the best players right now in the entire football league on their team. And I think that do counts for something going into the Super Bowl tournament. You know what I mean? I think the Rams can say the same with Puka and Stafford. But not too many other teams can say, I got two guys on my team who can be considered top 5 in the league right now. Right now. If I'm to put a list together, I can put Josh Allen in that list, undeniably. And James Cook, arguably this season, of course, backing off of what he did last season, can be put in that convo too, just off of the strength of what he's doing against some of the best defenses in the league. Like we skip over the fact that he did 100 plus basically in a half against a pretty sound Cleveland defense. Like Cleveland defense actually been pretty good this year. That's been one of their few bright spots, and he just made a lot of their defenders look like JV guys. So I'm in this tournament now, and I'm like, well, I got 2 dudes on my football team that you got to have a little bit of fear in your heart for. I know you're a football player and you're not supposed to have fear, but if I look at 17, I look at 4. Anything is possible with those guys. You know what I mean? Offensive line do their job, tight ends do their job, receivers, man, listen. When the opportunity come, do your job. We rolling. So just wanted to throw that in there because I mean, now that we in the tournament, we can talk about it. It's gonna be fun, but again, when you got two of those guys, we always say in the NBA, what we say in the NBA, man. You know what I mean? Dynamic duos, big threes, all that. When you got 2, Shaq and Kobe, right? Anything is possible. Jordan and Pippen, all right? Hakeem, Clyde Drexler. I mean, where you want to go? Steph Curry and Clay in their prime. Steph Curry and KD. What you want to do? Sometimes you can do it without that, which has happened, right? But in most sports, get you a couple of them elite guys and just let the other guys do their part. But in closing, anything you want to close out with, man?
Let's go get this dub. Maybe the Jets can show up and somehow get a win with a quarterback I never heard of.
Oh
Uh,
man, they kill me, man. Them in Miami, man. Get on my
yeah,
damn.
ain't crossing my fingers and none of that.
Nah.
But if there was ever a time for the Jets to show up, it'd be amazing for them to show up this week. I just like
JETS, Jets. That'd be funny as hell.
that, bro. That would be hilarious if that
It
actually
would
happened.
be, man, listen, the amount of trolling I would do for at least 30 minutes. Like I'd be done, but for like 30 minutes straight, I'm trolling on Pats fans because it's like, y'all.
Yeah, that's only if the Bills win though.
Right,
Ain't no
right, right, right,
ain't no
right. I was
trolling the
saying we would
Clippers.
know if we won, obviously, by 7:30, 8 o'clock.
That's
So
true. That's true.
that
That's
that'd
true.
be a little, postponed celebration, but nah. Yeah, I gotta take care of business. For me, man, I'll keep it short, man. It's Christmas time. So as we said around Thanksgiving, enjoy your time, with your family. Prayers out to those who are suffering and hurting around this time of the year because we know the holidays bring mixed emotions, right? You missing grandma, you missing, maybe some kids that you may have who are no longer with you or whatever the situation may be. There's a lot going on around this time, but for those who are still alive, kicking, breathing, enjoy the day, enjoy the week, enjoy the weekend. If you have a, extra long weekend like myself, try to take it all in. This is a fun time because we can talk sports all day, but you know, it's supposed to mean a lot more than just gifts. So obviously remember that. But it's about the love that you're around. So enjoy it, folks. I appreciate everybody who tune in, whether it's once a month, once every 2 months, or once a week. If you consistent, shout out to the consistent ones. But we do this for the fun, for the hell of it. But I mean, listen, the Bills make it enjoyable, 7 straight years in the playoffs. Um, hello. All right. especially when
Hello.
you especially when you survive the drought as a fan. So like,
Listen. We make it through the drought. We can survive anything.
yeah, 100%.
Shout out to the Jets who probably gonna hit that 17
Oh,
year mark
man.
before. Listen, you honestly, they have 14 now this year.
Damn.
It wouldn't surprise them to hit 17 unless something drastic, unless they hit on a quarterback in the
Trade
draft. Yeah,
trade for Watson. No, I'm playing. Um,
they
nah,
need
but they need a quarterback. But once they figure out the quarterback situation, as we know, a lot of things can change. But
don't take long. I mean, hell, look at New England. Look how
I,
quick something can change. You get the
I
right
was say
quarterback in there.
New England just don't get me started. But anyways, yeah. So to our listeners, viewers, man, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. We will be back next week. We thought about taking a little light break, but we like, man, listen, if we can squeeze one in, we're gonna squeeze one in. And it's a nice week, you know what I mean? We clinched a couple more Pro Bowlers, which has been almost consistent. I remember the years when we had zero, right? You know what I mean? We were
Yeah,
like, oh
no,
no,
now
and we was
now it's
fighting
a
for
given.
Greg Jackson. Like, nah, come on, Fred.
And we
We
got three, and all three are very well deserving. And there's probably a couple who probably deserved it as well on that O line. Connor McGovern or Spencer Brown, I think both should be in the mix. Probably nobody on defense, but you know.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
But that
man.
O line definitely got some worthy folks who, whether they get the recognition out here balling for another season. So, but shout out to Josh Allen, James Cook, Deion Dawkins for again being selected into the Pro Bowl. That
Mm,
awesome recognition for them. So well deserved,
yeah,
and it's nice to have some high quality players on our team at high
100%.
quality positions. So
That that really do it the right way though. Like you see some teams with 6 Pro Bowlers, and you're like,
right, like
does they
oh
flowers?
yo, I saw Travis Kelsey get in the
Yeah,
Pro Bowl. I said
I'm like,
Travis Kelsey.
oh, the Swifties was in action. Okay,
Yeah, I said, oh, he got the most votes out of anybody. I
yeah.
said, oh, that's the Taylor Swift effect. That's what that is.
I said, okay,
Cause
yeah,
the fact that he's a Pro Bowler and like not a Tyler Warren or any of these other tight ends could have been in there other than Kelsey. I'm like, all right, that's
that's what we
okay.
doing. Yeah, it is what it is. But we
Yeah,
know
but whatever. Shout
Pro
out,
Bowl,
shout out
Pro Bowl is a
to
Pro Bowl.
yeah, to
It ain't
Travis Swift. He got it.
yeah, it ain't what it used to be. But anyways, like we said, man, enjoy the holidays, guys. Let's enjoy Sunday as well. Whether you there, whether you at home, rock your red. We got the red jerseys on, so let's rock out in our red and white, red and blue, whatever you mix it up and do. Let's have fun with it. Go Bills, like you see it says on the screen. Let's get it. Back again next
Let's get
week.
it. Appreciate y'all for rocking with us for another week. Merry Christmas to you and yours. We'll catch y'all next week.
Peace out, y'all. Peace.